This is the case of 50-year-old police officer Grant Harden, who has been apprehended on suspicion of murder. His crimes and behavior were so heinous that during interrogation, he tried every tactic to escape. On February 23rd, James Appleton was on a call with his brother-in-law in a parking lot on Ganridge Road when a loud bang was heard, and the line went dead. A passerby spotted a speeding white Chevrolet Malibu leaving the scene, where they found James dead at the wheel with a gunshot wound. The Malibu was traced back to Grant Harden, a longtime resident of the small 400-person town of Gateway, Arkansas. That night, Grant was stopped at a police roadblock after dinner with his family and brought in for questioning. Unfortunately, Grant's law enforcement experience made this one of the most excruciating interrogations the Arkansas police had ever faced.
I'm Detective Chamberlain. I know we have James Chamberlain. Okay. Did you used to be a police officer somewhere? I recognized you, but I wasn't 100% sure where I knew you from. But somebody said that you used to be a police officer at Gateway or something like that. Okay.
The interrogation starts casually as Detective Chamberlain, also a police officer, opens with questions about Grant's career. Chamberlain hopes to establish trust and get Grant to relax, making him more likely to divulge information. However, this strategy soon backfires. After being read his rights, Grant decides he will make the interrogation as difficult as possible for the detectives.
Here's the thing. I want to talk to you about what you've done today, okay? Can you just take me through when you woke up this morning to when you got stopped by the police out there in, what's the name of that road that you're on? I'm sorry, I'm going to drop. Ganridge?
I'm not going to say anything after I've been read those rights yet.
Okay. Well,
I don't know what's going on. I am kind of sickly to what I'm here for and things.
Up to this point, Grant hasn't been informed of the reason for his arrest. Given the situation, he claims to be feeling unwell. His disturbing body language suggests he may also feel exposed and inferior, as he is now the suspect rather than the detective for the first time in his life.
You don't want to explain what you've done today? Did you? Is there a reason behind that?
What was the first thing said? I have the right to remain silent.
Okay. So you're telling me that you don't want to talk to me right now? Okay, cool. Hang tight right here for just a few minutes, okay?
As is typical in such cases, the detectives leave the room to discuss their interview strategy. This not only allows them to plan their approach, but also gives the suspect time alone to worry and potentially collect their thoughts, potentially putting the detectives at a disadvantage.
By the way, I'm Detective Cordier. I think we've met once before.
Probably so.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I don't know if I scared you at the beginning or what, but that's why I was trying to, and I can't, you see the position that I'm in. I can't tell you why you're here, but at the same time, I need to rule you out into something. Does that make sense?
Upon re-entering the room, the detectives try a different approach, stating they simply need to clear Grant of any wrongdoing so he can be on his way. This more relaxed tactic may subconsciously encourage some suspects to open up in order to expedite the process. However, Grant has other plans.
Would you be willing to talk to me about your day knowing that I need to rule you out of something? Or like I'm just, if you didn't do anything wrong today, you have nothing to worry about.
Yes, I would have liked to, but before the rights were read. So
okay.
Not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, and you understand as a detective, we read those rights to everybody who comes in here. It's not just you. It happens to everybody that walks through this room and talks to us.
As a former police officer, Grant is fully aware of interrogation tactics. He knows suspects, guilty or not, must be read their rights, a technicality he's using as an excuse to refuse talking and potentially stall for time.
I guess my question is this, knowing what I just told you, I guess if it was me and I was, if I was in your position, I'd be like, hey, James, I did this, or Grant, I did this, I was at, here, and here, and I would just be done with it. But at this point, I can't clear you from this because you could still potentially be a suspect. I don't know if I'm not explaining it right or what was going on here.
It fine. I just have to, once the rights have been read, I have to, it says I have the right to be silent.
Yes. Okay. Just tell me this. I know you were a police officer before, right? You're a police officer in Gateway? It's an easy yes or no.
I'm being silent.
Well, I can see that. We can do this all night. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You're going to continue to be a suspect until I find out otherwise.
Okay.
Unfortunately for the detectives, Grant is expertly exercising his rights, refusing to talk and greatly impeding the investigation, all within legal bounds. This visibly frustrates Detective Chamberlain, who decides to take a break as losing composure can be dangerous. However, this alone time also allows the suspect to potentially devise a plan.
Hello, I need to go
You need to go where?
home or get ready for work in a little bit.
Okay, we'll just have a seat and I'll get it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Brian.
Yes, sir.
The other officer told me you want to talk to me again. What's going on?
Oh, I'm just ready to go.
Okay. And I'm not ready for you to go yet, so you're not going to be able to go. I've got other things that I'm doing right now, so.
Oh, I was gonna go.
Oh, no,
And I
you're not
wanted
going
to
to
tell
go.
you that.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're not.
But I
Same
want
time.
okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
At this point, detectives would typically decide whether to charge or release the suspect based on evidence. However, rather than ending the stalled interview, the detectives try to gather more information, questioning witnesses to place Grant at the crime scene. Despite Grant's silence being legally acceptable, it heightens the detective's suspicion, especially when his wife's alibi corroborates his presence. With the evidence pointing towards Grant, Detective Chamberlain prepares to resume the interrogation.
Detective Cordero is talking to your wife right now. I talked to her a little bit, so I've kind of got a timeline of where you were and where you weren't today. We all know what happened, okay? I'm not trying to get you in any trouble. I'm not trying to get her in any trouble. You've got a little daughter, who's 16, who needs her parents, okay? I don't know if you've had a problem with this guy for a while, and this was an accident, or you maliciously chased him down, or what happened. But if I don't get your side of the story, I won't ever know. We're writing a book. You got chapter 1, you got chapter 2, and chapter 3. Chapter 1 is what happened today, what started out today, how your day started. Chapter 2 is what led up to the incident, and chapter 3 is you telling me about what happened to lead you up to that. I know you went to eat, out tonight. I know what you said at dinner. I know that you went to Lowe's afterwards. I know everything, but I don't know what caused the incident. And if I don't know that, I've got to assume the worst. I'll let you think about it. I'll give you one more chance here in a few minutes, and I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm telling you that.
Well, what happened?
I know, you know. We have witnesses that put you there. They physically ID'd you. The 2 cars that drove by. Look, man, I just want to know why it happened. I'm going to sleep good tonight regardless. I don't think you will.
Eyewitness Andrew Tillman, a lifelong resident, positively identifies Grant as the driver of the car at the scene of the murder. With this evidence placing Grant at the crime, both he and Detective Chamberlain know the truth. However, Grant remains silent, hoping to avoid conviction due to lack of evidence. Desperate, the detectives attempt a new tactic, allowing Grant to see his wife and daughter, hoping to elicit an emotional reaction that will prompt him to talk.
Your wife's about to leave. She wanted to give you a hug before she left. Are you good with that?
Me too. Okay.
All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
The emotional appeal fails to elicit a response from Grant. As a last resort, Detective Cordero returns alone, adopting a calmer, more sympathetic demeanor. The hope is that as a female detective, Grant may be more inclined to build a subconscious trust, seeing her as less threatening. This is the detective's final attempt to break through Grant's silence.
All right. Get ready to think about laying down up on that desk, but it looks awful hard.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be any more comfortable up there than what you are now. Can you help me understand how we got to this point?
I don't know.
I don't know. Man, I remember being on patrol and running into you one night. Help me out on a call back then.
Oh,
It was way back in, I guess almost 3 years now.
well,
Two,
Yeah,
something
so.
like that. Yeah, something like that.
you guys are always good to help us, help me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brad, he was always right there, man.
Cordero starts by recounting a past case where Grant seemingly assisted her, hoping this shared history will make him more receptive. This allows them to reminisce about their time on the force, further strengthening the subconscious bond Cordero aims to build with the suspect.
I just don't understand how we got to this point.
Yeah, me neither.
You're willing to talk, don't
I'm
you?
just ready to go to bed.
I don't blame you. Me too. Me too. And if we could do that, you just talk to me.
Well, I just have to, since you read those rights, I have to do the right.
Well, what's the difference?
You know the difference.
Regardless if something happened or not, and if it did, if it was an accident, well, tell me. Like, let me help me help you. Like, I want to know what I can do or what happened today to be able to explain it later.
I don't know what happened today. I just need to.
You know, people are gonna have questions. Your family.
Well, I have questions.
Well, exactly.
So
why can't we figure this out together?
Cordero consciously uses inclusive language like, "We'll figure this out together," and open, expressive body language to make Grant feel more relaxed and part of the solution. Additionally, she is unfailingly kind, hoping this approach will finally prompt Grant to open up or at least provide an opening for the detective.
We can start from the very beginning. I mean, I know you probably slept in because you work nights. I work nights. Trust me, I worked nights for almost 4 years. I understand how that sleep schedule is.
yeah, I sleep's all
So,
messed up.
did you sleep in today? Yeah, I bet you did. You could have got to work tonight, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah. What time did you get up?
English.
Around noon. That's usually what time I got up too. Did you watch anything good on TV? Usually that's what I do. I'd eat and watch TV. I'll woke myself up a little bit. Anything good?
Same old stuff
Oh yeah?
on TV.
You watch the same episodes? Or like, do you have a specific TV show you would wake up and watch?
Well, we watched. My wife always has it on. I can't remember what channel it's called right now. TV Land.
Oh, okay. I haven't really watched any of that. I couldn't even tell you what it was about. Does your wife like that?
Oh well, I think she'd better watch other stuff. But
Yeah.
Cordero has finally gotten Grant to open up, though not about the case. By keeping the conversation flowing on benign topics, she hopes to subtly extract information that could indirectly implicate him. Most importantly, she's building a connection, increasing the chances he'll either slip up or decide to cooperate. However, as soon as Cordero tries to steer the conversation back to the case, Grant shuts down again, refusing to answer further questions.
I think you have a lot to live for. Beautiful family, who I've had the privilege of talking to. The way I look at it is you're a man. Men face their mistakes and they own up to them. And they figure out what happened and figure out how to solve it and move on. Like I said, I'm honestly here to help you. I want you to understand that. I wouldn't spend my time in here with you if I didn't. And that something happened today that needs to be explained. Did you make a mistake today?
Even invoking his family fails to elicit a response from Grant. Realizing his only hope is to remain silent and hope the evidence is insufficient, he stubbornly refuses to speak further.
I like you. I like this fella that was a detective here. And I don't care about any of that and stuff. And I just don't know how to. I never had this happen before. Being brought in and interrogated for something. So I really don't care, but I just don't know how to be silent. Sitting over here looking like a jerk.
No, you're not. Honestly, you are far from that. You're very polite. Don't you know why you're here?
I appreciate you guys, and I'm just gonna get a lawyer.
Yeah, it's up to you.
But
You can either-
obviously something's going on, and I need one.
I just want to hear your side of it.
I want to get a lawyer.
After hours of fruitless interrogation, Grant requests a lawyer, concluding the questioning. However, the saga is far from over. Between the interrogation and the final court hearing, Grant and his attorney realize he has little chance of acquittal. Eyewitness testimony and his checkered past as a police officer, having been fired or resigned from 3 different police departments before becoming the chief of police in his hometown, seal his fate. On October 16, 2017, he pleads guilty to the first-degree murder of James Appleton, though he refuses to disclose his motive, denying the victim's family closure. As Grant undergoes processing, a shocking revelation emerges. His DNA is found to be a perfect match to an unsolved sexual assault case from 1997. 20 years prior, a teacher at Frank Tillery Elementary School was accosted in the school's bathroom by a man wielding a gun who then sexually assaulted her. The local police had exhausted all efforts to identify the perpetrator, but the case went cold for 20 years until Grant Hardin's DNA was matched. Because the Rogers police had obtained a John Doe warrant in 2003, allowing them to arrest an unknown suspect and bypass the statute of limitations, he is hit with a 14-year sentence for this crime, on top of the 21 years for the murder of James Appleton. As such, Grant Hardin is sentenced to a total of 35 years in prison, meaning he will likely live out the rest of his life behind bars.